Good morning, everyone. For the replay viewers, I am Rachel Balansat. I'm a regenerative health practitioner and clinical iridologist. And a lot of people who are on this call today are either part of our health coaching team, or they are, some of you are guests who are just exploring the protocols for autoimmune health and for overall fitness health. And some people are here for weight loss. People are here for all different kinds of reasons. I just want to honor everyone where you're at. And I'm really excited for those of you who have already started your transformation and already having results. And those of you who've already had amazing results, I want to hear from you today just to give inspiration to the group. Because one of the things that happens when we start is, or before we get started, is sometimes we have fears about like, can this really work for me? Is there something that can actually help? Because if you're somebody who's been sick, not everybody comes to this looking for health. Some people are already well and just want to, do something that's a good, healthy detox or cleanse. But when you've been suffering for a long time, it feels impossible sometimes. Like, I remember when I was sick with Hashimotos, I didn't imagine I could ever get well. I just kind of accepted that this is part of aging. Now I've got Hashimotos. I kind of have to accept this diagnosis. And it didn't occur to me that I could get better. And then I finally saw the light and I said, if some people heal from cancer, if somebody can heal from cancer, why would they not be able to heal from Hashimoto's? And that's kind of what kept my fire going, was just remembering that little bit of information. So to inspire you today, I'd love to hear from people on the call who've actually had success and who are health coaches. Everyone who's a health coach has already had an experience. That's how they became a coach, is they are like, hey, this worked for me. Let me help some other people. So would anyone like to hop off and just share your story and I'll highlight you? Feel free. Marcie, you look like you're trying to get off mute. Are you going to join? Were you going to speak? You're muted. There you go.
I was just trying to text my new brand partners and to remind them to jump on. But yeah, I have what I think is an amazing story. I had food addiction and also Hashimoto's as well. So chronic fatigue, chronic pain, debilitating fatigue and debilitating pain. And I've recovered my addiction to food, to junk food. I still am able to say that I have not had a fast food hamburger since July 11th, 2023. So, and you know what? It's kind of cool saying that because it's also holding me accountable for that as well.
You want to keep that date?
Yeah, I have had French fries, but for me, that was a big thing. And I think that kind of propelled some of the addictions and things like that. So, and then also like Wiener Schnitzel and stuff like that. So those were my drugs of choice, and I have not had that again. I've had French fries, but I'm weaning myself off of French fries as well. So, but yeah, quite a recovery story. It's just every day brings something new, and just with the better energy and better mood, I lifted out of my depression. And yeah, I just can't sing enough of Purium's praises.
So you mentioned some symptoms, and I'm curious, did you recover from them? You mentioned pain, debilitating pain. Tell us a little bit about that. Where are you at with that?
Yeah, I had debilitating pain, which meant that every day something hurt, multiple things to, one thing. I didn't know what it was like to not have something hurt. In January, I experienced a month of absolutely no pain. And I did get a flare up. I guess maybe.
Sorry, when did you
start?
When did you start the protocol?
I started the protocol July 2nd of 2023. And so I'm going to call that my second birthday, because that's the day that my life began to change. And then the hamburger on July 11th was like for my birthday, but yeah, that didn't work out because even then it upset my stomach, and so that left a lasting impression. So maybe that's some good conditioning there too.
So what did you notice, your first, kind of tell us in order, things that happened your first month, second month, if you remember,
okay.
What were some of the
Yeah,
difficulties?
so the first thing was the energy. So like within, I would say by the end of the first week into the second week, I had a lot of energy. I wasn't requiring a nap. And when I say require, that means that I needed a nap every day, at least the 2 3 hour nap, or it would kick off a migraine.
Okay.
And so I was no longer requiring a nap, and I actually had enough energy to strip the paint off of our bathroom. It's a small bathroom, but still, that was a feat. And during the summer. And so, I mean, I still remember vividly my husband just watching me strip the paint. And he was just like, "How are you doing this and you're not laid up?"
Mm.
Because if I were to have a spurt of energy
That's a lot of work.
before, yeah, if I were to have a spurt of energy before and do something like that, I would be in bed in pain for at least 2 weeks
Mm.
consistently. So I would get up to work. Thank God I work from home. But I would work and then I would just go straight to bed. So, and sometimes even call out because just the pain was too much. So I know he first noticed that too. So that was the first thing that kicked in. And again, just the energy, just overall mood was lifted by the end of, like the first week. Um the pain, once I started, I the pain started reducing over the weeks, but I still had pain. And then I believe it was November, I started taking Joint Flex. And then so by January is when I think everything like really was in sync and going. And that's when I had that month of just like of wow, nothing hurts.
Wow.
So I did have a few weeks of a flare up, and it was typical for me before in the spring and like November time. I would always have a really bad flare up. And so I think maybe that was kind of falling in line with my pattern. But it wasn't as debilitating as it was before. I wasn't as tired as I was before. Yeah, I would take a nap here and there, but
Mhm.
it wasn't like I needed to get to bed right now or I'm going to get a headache.
Awesome.
So it's just miraculous. It's amazing.
Oh, thank you so much. It's so inspiring. I appreciate you. So, yeah, I too had, I had Hashimoto's for 9 years. I struggled, pretty debilitating. I could barely work. I was a wedding photographer and I got to a point where I could only do one wedding a month. That was all I could handle. And that was like a chore. Like, oh my God, I've got to go to work today, this one day of the month. Like, Lord help me get through it. And I would hire friends to come with me and like just make sure that, that way if I fell asleep somewhere, because I would often just fall asleep on a couch or something in the middle of a wedding. And someone would have to like come wake me up and be like, okay, picture time, and I'm like, okay. So it was really embarrassing, but I got through it. And I also struggled with, my all my TSH levels were all wonky, my hormone levels were all messed up. My exhaustion, my digestion was bad. I was constipated. I was bloated. I was tired, like I said, all the time, extremely exhausted. And there was something in my brain that just didn't feel well. And I couldn't even explain it to people. I just was like, my brain, like, I can't think, I can't remember what you're saying. I would have amnesia and I would just feel like I couldn't look at light. Everything was too bright for me. I just couldn't even have my eyes open. I was just like, light, I hated going outside. I hated being with people. And, I would kind of like try to exercise. I finally got myself to like walk on a treadmill for like a mile, at like 4.9 miles per hour or something like that. And or 4.1 miles an hour, which is like walking basically. And that was about all I could do. And then I found, I went to everyone. I went to Eastern doctors. I went to Western doctors first. They told me like, oh, you need to get on Synthroid. And then I was like, I don't really want to do medication. I just had this instinct that told me. And I was also, very into nutrition already. So it's already like very well versed. And I knew like when you start taking thyroid, your body stops producing, your body stops creating, your thyroid starts to shrink. And I didn't want my thyroid to disappear. So I refused to take medications because I wanted my thyroid to still work. So that was my logic. And so I struggled through 9 years of exhaustion and, just crazy adrenal fatigue. And then I started, kind of all the fad diets that people typically do, the anti-inflammatory diet, AIP, paleo diet, all that stuff. I tried it all, and I was like not getting well. And, like someone was like, eat more meat or whatever. So I tried it all. It just was not working. I was not getting well. I was not healing myself completely to the core, to the root cause. And I was just still struggling along. And so finally, I found this protocol. Someone said on Facebook, like, hey, like I'm doing this cleanse. And then I watched her, and then she was like feeling on top of the world. And I was like, okay, I want to do that. And so I did it. And it's this 90-day protocol that we'll talk about in a little bit that everybody's been on. And that transformed my life. Like literally, I went from sleeping all the time to having so much energy throughout the day. Oh, and I also couldn't sleep. I could not fall asleep. And if somebody told me, hey, like if I were like starting to fall asleep and anyone interrupted it, like the phone rang or my boyfriend turned on the light or something like that, I would just be like so mad, because I'd be like, now I'm not going to sleep, because I was almost going to fall asleep, but now I will not sleep. And so then I'd be up to like 3 a.m. Or I'd wake up at 3 a.m. and then I'd, fall asleep for a couple hours, and then I'd be up at 5 a.m. and that was it. I couldn't sleep again. So I'd sleep like a few hours each night, like 3 hours maybe. And it was just exhausting. So one of the first things that happened, I was able to sleep deeply. One of and the other first thing that happened was I had energy right away. Like within the first 10 days, I had amazing, incredible amounts of energy. And I started wanting to go to the gym because I was like, oh, I have so much energy, I want to work out. And so I started going to the gym. And long story short is, um, I took to it. Like I loved it. I just wanted to work out all the time. I started working out like crazy. My body started changing before my eyes. I was like losing weight. I lost 10 pounds in the first 10 days. Okay. Without even working out, immediately lost weight. A lot of people call it inflammatory weight. People call it hormonal weight, whatever it was, it disappeared in the first 10 days. I started working out. My body transformed. I lost 25 pounds. Someone was like, you should join this. You should compete. And I was like, thought they were crazy. Compete. What do you mean compete? Competing in bodybuilding, like that's nuts. But I did it. I said, okay, what the heck, I'll just join the team. And long story short is I won first place, my first competition. I went on and started competing regularly until I went all the way to pro championships. I won the pro championship. Unstoppable is my logo. Okay. And literally my life changed overnight. I couldn't even, I was still like, even a year in winning all these competitions, I was like, is this for real? Like, how did my life turn? Like, how did that happen? How did I get so blessed that I found this way to health? And not only that, now I'm just living my best life ever. I went from living my worst life ever to living, and I even lived in my car because I couldn't work at some point. And so I went from living my worst life ever to living my best life ever. And so I wanted to share this protocol with everyone. I formed the Healing Hashimotos Naturally Facebook group and was like, okay, I'm going to just introduce people to a healthy diet, healthy lifestyle. If they want to do this protocol, they can do this protocol. But I'm here to serve now. I'm here to help people transform their health. And so I also became certified regenerative health practitioner, clinical iridologist. I also have a certificate in Ayurvedic nutrition and all of the modalities in Ayurveda, including pulse reading and face mapping and tongue reading, all that stuff. I learned everything because I was so passionate about health. I just wanted to be able to help others. And so that's how I got to here. And so we are going to get to some of these questions. Some of these questions I'll answer now, some I'll answer later. But one of the questions was, can I stop doing hormone replacement? Well, when your hormones start to balance, if you follow the proper nutrition, what you're going to do is you're going to be detoxing metals. That's really important. You'll be detoxing metals. You're going to be detoxing the gut. You're going to be eating foods and nutrients that help alkalize your body. So you're going to become more alkaline, which means less acidic, because acidic causes sickness in the body. So you're going to become more alkaline. And then your hormones begin to come into balance. That's really what happens. And as your hormones come in, sorry, there's new people trying to get in here. Nutrients help your hormones come naturally into balance. And so, yeah, then if your hormones are imbalanced, then you don't need hormone replacement therapy. So the answer to that question is going to be, yes, it's totally possible. I am not a doctor, so I can't legally tell you to do that. I would say go to your doctor and have them, when your hormones start to become normal, you can stop taking them. You can have them test your hormones. And yeah, Marcie has a question or a thought or a comment.
Yeah, I just wanted to chime in on the hormone thing because I have started the change.
Mhm.
And so last year, I was starting to have really severe night sweats and hot flashes and, the embarrassing kind. And so I started on the Women's Defense and the Super Life. And I haven't had, so like, I think I've been on it about 3 months, 4 months maybe.
Right.
And yeah, it resolved that. So
There
yeah,
you
you
go.
can definitely do it with nutrition.
Absolutely. Thank you. And I'm going to tell you guys something that might blow some of your minds. There is no such thing as menopause symptoms or perimenopause symptoms. Those are all Epstein-Barr virus symptoms. We associate it with the change the change meaning when women stop bleeding. And it's actually historically, when women would stop bleeding, that was a time of life they look forward to where they would have more energy and have more vitality and have more life. And then as Epstein-Barr virus started to take hold and become more predominant, then it started becoming associated. That time, it's like a period in our life where the Epstein-Barr virus has now like basically accrued momentum and it started to proliferate. And by the time we're at that age where we stop bleeding, that when we stop having our periods, that is when that's around the age where the Epstein-Barr virus has matured enough that it's now causing hot flashes, which is the liver trying to kill the Epstein-Barr virus. Okay, the liver heats up and it's trying to kill all the viral loads of pathogens, and that's why people have hot flashes. And what's really interesting is people can have hot flashes before they stop having their period. They can start having hot flashes after they stop having their period. And so it really is inconsistent when the hot flashes happen. But because we're at this age where they start happening, people associate it with the period, the pain, the exhaustion, fatigue, joint pain, muscle soreness, all liver, hot flashes, headaches. These are all not having anything to do with the period's end of life. I mean, end of our periods. How fascinating is that? So if you're hearing something new, drop me a one. I'm just curious, like how many people maybe have known all this. Meanwhile, let's see what other questions I can answer here. Is it possible to take too many of the Purium products at the same time? So the Purium is the company that makes the protocol that we're going to talk about. And it's an incredible superfoods company. Whoever invited you will give you a discount code. So if you want to order any of the products, you'll get 25% off. But yeah, no, I sometimes they talk about like the core 4 that you're supposed to take. Well, I take like the core 10, I take the core 12. Some people joke and say they take the core 20. So it's like it's all just food. Like you just have to remember, like we're just eating food. These are all food based. All of the ingredients are just natural foods. We're not really taking anything that's chemical or anything that's toxic or anything that's sugar. So yeah, it's pretty good. There are certain things that you want to be that kids don't and babies don't want to take, and you don't want to take some things when you're pregnant just because there's certain herbs and stuff that women aren't supposed to take at those times. How many have had success with Hashimoto's hyperthyroidism and with this protocol? Every person I've talked to every person I've worked with has had a lessening of symptoms, and many have gotten off their medications completely, like levothyroxine, eventually with their doctors, yes, their doctors, giving them permission to do that. And can it heal leaky gut and intestinal flora? So yeah, I'm going to talk about the products and you'll see like what I'll talk about them when I'm showing them. I'll say which ones do what and how it does help with leaky gut for absolute sure. My leaky gut was gone like immediately in like the first 10 days. So cholesterol and weight concerns. So is that a question? So you can like pose that in the form of a question, but we'll get to those at the end as well. So yeah. Yeah. I don't know what the question is, so you'll have to just phrase it as a sentence So let me see who else would like to share a story. Let's like have another story. Somebody else who, yeah, Glenneth, go ahead. We'll hear from a man.
A manly man.
A manly man, Sir Glenneth of Cobb from the land of Cobb.
Yeah, I'm somebody that's like a lot of Americans struggle with my weight much of my life, and particularly energy. And I didn't realize for a lot of years, and I don't even know how long I had sleep apnea and hypothyroid, but I had both. I was using Armour Thyroid. That was able to no longer be needed the 5th month that I was using this protocol. When I first started, I didn't really know what to think, except I was feeling pretty desperate, and I had a huge gut that I was really disgusted with, and like I said, not the energy I wanted. And anyhow, 30 days into the protocol, I had dropped 25 pounds, 7.5 inches off my gut, which just blew me away. I couldn't believe in 1 month that. I mean, I could almost see a 6-pack in my stomach, whereas before it was just this massive gut. And anyhow, I was due for a sleep study at the end of, right near the end of that month. And the results of that study is I went from 21 incidences of stop breathing for sleep apnea to, I think it was 1 breath from normal. And I think that's considered 6, if I recall right. So that was a huge improvement. Based on that, they said I could get off the CPAP, which is the machine, the mask you have to put on that gives you forced oxygen. I hated that thing. So I continued on. My goal was 40 pounds. That's what I lost. I did find one product particularly helpful besides the basic protocol is the control, because I was quite a carb addict. That was my
Talking about the control spray or the control pre-meal capsules.
The tablets, control tablets.
They're called control pre-meal capsules. Yeah.
So that helped because I was quite a carb addict. I could sit, I was doing very stressful work. I could sit down and eat a full bag of chips when I was feeling, the need. And these weren't the small bags. So anyhow, so I just continued doing this. I found it simple, easy. My energy went up. My sleep needs went way down. And yeah, my sleep apnea I've tested now with no incidences of stop breathing and deep REM. So, I mean, like a lot of us, are a handful of us on here, I've chose to help other people with this, and that's my story.
Thank you. I love it. You're such an inspiration. If Glenneth can do it, you can do it. I wanted to also, let's see, I'm having trouble still removing you. 1 second. I see that somebody was asking about fibroids. And so I just want to say that fibroids is also the Epstein-Barr virus. And so the body's actually trying to trap the virus and build a little coating around the virus. And so, yeah, what feeds the virus, because this is the culprit for Hashimoto's, it's a culprit for MS, it's the culprit for fibroids, it's the culprit for a lot of things. Epstein-Barr virus expresses itself in many, many different ways, and it's based, how it expresses itself in the body is dependent upon which kind of metals you have, which kind of toxic metals you have, toxic heavy metals, how much toxic heavy metals you have, or what chemicals you have in your body, because these things feed the virus. The virus enjoys eating metals, it enjoys eating chemicals, it enjoys eating toxins, it enjoys eating adrenaline. So if you've ever had an accident or some kind of or even a lot of women when they give birth, that's a very intense experience in the body. The body puts out a lot of adrenaline. And so then that feeds the Epstein-Barr virus. So sometimes people will be like, oh, I got Hashimoto's from pregnancy. It's called pregnancy onset Hashimoto's. And they don't even realize that it's the Epstein-Barr virus was proliferated by the intensity of giving birth. And so, so a lot of women get sick around that. And then they're like, oh, I have postpartum. What is postpartum? Well, I got postpartum, depression, anxiety, all the different things that are ways that the Epstein-Barr virus can express itself. Now, some people have other things. It's not always Epstein-Barr virus. There's other different kinds of viruses. But it's one of the most predominant prolific viruses that actually is the reason for a lot of the health issues that we're seeing today. And yeah, you can pretty much completely get rid of Epstein-Barr virus, but you would have to be very diligent for a long period of time. My blood work 10 years later, I was on the protocol, and I did that protocol for like heavily for a straight year to detox my liver completely. And eventually I got off all my medications, and I got off, like, I was on natural medications from my, they would call them probably supplements from my naturopath, because I did go the natural route. And they helped me, but they weren't completely making me well. But once I got to a certain point, I was able to get off everything. And now I've been 10 years without any symptoms. I've had 0 symptoms for 10 years. The last time I got my blood work done was like probably a year and a half ago, maybe a year ago, year and a half ago, maybe. Anyway, I think a year ago. But anyway, long story short is my blood work was normal. I was no longer anemic. I had been anemic forever. I was no longer anemic, and I don't even eat meat. I'm no longer anemic. I'm also a type O positive. So let's just get that off the table. A lot of people like, eat right for your type. I'm an O positive. Supposedly I'm supposed to eat meat, but you know what? I don't. And I'm like, got amazing blood work and amazing. And I did that because that's what made me feel better. When I started doing this Purium protocol, and then all of a sudden I just stopped needing, I was like, I don't actually need the stuff that I thought I needed. And I felt better. I had more energy, and I didn't even need to drink coffee or any kinds of stimulants. I just have plenty of energy, and I'm 51. And like, I feel like I have the energy of a 20-year-old. I mean, like, I climb mountains, I go hiking, I swim, I can do a lot of different kinds of exercises in a day. I just worked out for an hour before this Zoom. You know, I was up at 8 and worked out, and up at 8 working, talking to people, doing health consultations. And then you know, at 9, I worked out for an hour, jumped onto this. I'll probably go for like a massive hike today, probably at least a few miles, and up in the mountains where I live. And so like my lifestyle has completely changed. So, okay, cataracts, yeah, those can also shift. You can also, like, that, the eyes can heal a lot, and there's specific things I would recommend for that, in addition to the ultimate lifestyle transformation, which we're going to go over. So I would do the ultimate lifestyle transformation plus the super xanthan. The super xanthan is incredible for the eyes. It is made from red marine algae, so that's a product that I would add on to the protocol. And then for anyone who is dealing with Epstein-Barr virus, basically the ULT is going to help you. I would do the ultimate lifestyle plus immune, the ULT plus immune. And then that one has zinc, which is also helpful for killing viral loads. It has vitamin A, D, and E. That's the only product that actually has like actual vitamins in it, and they're food grade. They're made from food instead of like synthetically made. And that's really important when you're taking vitamins. And everything, all of our, everything we make is basically free of any toxins. There's no metals in anything. There's no sugar in anything. There's no additives in anything. Everything is organic, natural, like safe food. Okay. And we have our own farm. So like, we can vouch for the quality of the food. The farms have no pesticides, they've never had any pesticides. They've never had any herbicides. And even the products help remove glyphosate, which is the toxin in Roundup. So it also helps remove that. The doctor won't test for the virus. Well, I would find a new doctor, or maybe, I don't know if you're like on like Medi-Cal or on or in some kind of government, but you can like look around and find a doctor who will test for the Epstein virus. But honestly, it doesn't matter, because it's not actually always going to show up until it's in an advanced stage. And there's several different kinds of Epstein-Barr virus, so it doesn't always show up on the test. I'm really all about like the symptoms and being like, are my symptoms disappearing? Are my symptoms going away? Am I feeling better? Because then you know you're on the right track. So if you buy any of the products, there's a 60-day money back guarantee. But there's also food things that you want to do that are important that we'll go over as well. Oh, cholesterol. Okay. So cholesterol and weight. Yeah, you can lose weight, and it'll definitely reduce cholesterol because it'll help you. It helps with when your body's acidic, which from eating acidic foods like animal products, when your body's acidic, you start to produce cholesterol, because cholesterol is alkaline. And so alkaline is the opposite of acidic. And so your body will produce cholesterol to try to alkalize your body, so that your blood stays alkaline. Because what happens is your blood wants to always be 7.4, which is alkaline. And if it veers from 7.4 at all and becomes, if it changes, that number changes at all, it kills a person. So your body is constantly regimenting, it's constantly regulating the acidity and alkalinity of your blood. So if you're eating an acidic diet, your body's going to start producing cholesterol to protect your blood, you know, to keep that nice vein nice and healthy and keep all the acids out, and like alkalize everything that's coming into the blood. Yes, and it helps with alopecia, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, Marcie's sister is like, right, perfect example. Who her hair, I mean, you should see the pictures, it's unbelievable. It's like an inch of hair missing, like a whole row of it, like this, and like this, I think it was like that. And it all grew back within, I think, 5 or 6 months. It's like her hair just totally grew back in. So yeah, it can help with alopecia. It's pretty amazing. Alopecia is hair loss. It's an autoimmune disorder that's about hair loss. And so I've seen a lot of people. I had a woman who was completely bald and her hair all grew back in, her entire head grew back in. She was bald. She was wearing wigs, and that was pretty amazing. So thanks for your questions. We will also do more Q&A at the end. I think I'll actually go ahead and just show you guys what the protocol looks like if you haven't seen it. And just know that you can get 25% off from whoever invited you of this protocol. And then after the protocol, we'll also talk about like what food you want to eat along with this. So this is the ultimate lifestyle transformation. So as a practitioner, I have adopted this and I have now started sharing this with my clients because this helps, it works. And I'm like, let's do this first and then let's see what's left over. If there's anything left over, then we can work with other things, other herbs, etc. But this is like the most amazing protocol I've ever encountered. And, you know, that's my experience from being a health practitioner. So this is your first 30 days. It's 90 days. You do 30 days at a time. You order 30 days at a time. It'll come on repeat, automatically shipped to your door. So it's nice. It's going to save you time shopping. It's going to save you time in the kitchen. It's going to help you have just amazing, more time to yourself and to do other things. And also it's like, it's going to be really easy. You don't have to think about menu planning and stuff because this is going to be 2 of your meals a day. All right. So the power shakes have really amazing superfoods such as spirulina and barley green juice powder. Did someone ask a question?
Yeah, the screen share is not showing if you're trying to.
Oh, whoops, sorry. Thank you for letting me know. Let me get back here. I'm having a little bit of text up. Okay, here we go. So this is the pack. All right. And so this is 30 days. You can choose which pack you want. We've got the collagen pack, which is amazing for helping with tissue in the joints and growing back. What is the word I'm looking for? I can't remember the word. Anyway, it's a thing that's in your knee, like cartilage. Thank you. Okay. And then we've got the ULT Plus Immune. This is the one I recommend for most people. And I would recommend doing this your first month. And then if you want to do the collagen your second month. But I would really do the ULT Plus Immune. This is my highest recommendation. If you're an athlete like me, the ULT Plus Performance, this is going to be a lot of different protein shakes as well as before and after workout stuff. So you can do that. Right now, I'm going to talk about the ULT Plus Immune. This one, I'll just kind of share with you like what everything does. So the Power Shake has spirulina, which helps remove metals. It also has barley green juice powder, which also both helps reduce metals and helps kill the viral loads. Okay, so it also has alfalfa leaf powder and all kinds of things. There's another shake called Super Meal, which helps, which is also very helpful for and easier to digest for people who have any kind of leaky gut, irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's, any kind of gut issues. The Super Meal, you can choose which shakes you want, but the Super Meal has broccoli sprouts, which is really known for helping with leaky gut. And everything in there is sprouted. It's got sprouted quinoa, sprouted millet, everything, any grains or anything like that, and then there are sprouted. And it's high in protein. Now this is your this is basically your greens, okay? So these are going to be like your veggies, you know, and then this is your cherry juice, which is your fruits. Like a serving of this is like the antioxidants of 12 fruits. You're supposed to get like 12 to 14 fruits a day. Does anybody get that? I mean, drop me 2 if you actually eat 14 fruits a day. Like very few people actually get that much into their bodies, but that's ideal and gives you the amount of antioxidants. So this helps you get that. It also helps with deep sleep. I mean, as soon as I started taking this, I was sleeping like a baby. It has naturally occurring melatonin. Your pineal gland also produces melatonin, and this is helpful for that. So you got your greens, your fruits, and then here's your protein. So your veggies, fruits, and protein. So the super aminos is a plant-based protein. So those of you who want to, you know, it's ideal for cleaning your liver to take a break from animal products, really. Like you want to actually reduce or completely remove animal products. And then here's your protein. If you're worried about that, this is what builds protein. These are the super aminos are like the building blocks of protein. That's what protein is made out of, is a chain of amino acids. And so these are the same amino acids. It's a patented formula. It's the ratio of aminos that your body uses to produce muscle. Okay, so this is muscle building. It's incredible. It's incredibly strengthening. No, it's not steroids. And yes, it gives you tons of energy. It's kind of almost like coffee, only there's no jitters, there's no up and down. It's steady, even energy throughout the day. I love this stuff. Power Shake also gives energy. Apothecary juice gives you rest at night, helps you with energy. So all these things together work for energy. They also work for weight loss. If you're somebody who's like underweight, wanting to gain weight, we have a protocol for that as well, which is basically this plus certain kinds of foods. So the foods that you eat are also going to be important, what you eat alongside this. This also has probiotics. This Biomedic right here is literally removes 75% of that toxic glyphosate in 6 weeks. We have clinical studies, double-blind studies that prove it. So 75% of glyphosate. It also reduces C-reactive protein. Probably the nurse here knows what C-reactive protein is. That's like the bioinflammatory marker. And so you're always wanting to reduce that for people who are struggling with pain. So this also helps with reducing pain. This also helps with leaky gut. This also helps with gut issues because it is actually restoring the villi. What are the villi? They're the hairs. They're the little hairs that grow inside your small intestines. And these hairs absorb nutrients. So this actually helps you absorb more nutrients. So this is also, this is great stuff. The Biomedic helps with, digestive health. And there was an article one time in Time magazine that said inflammation, that the gut health was related to inflammation. Inflammation was the root cause of all diseases. So a lot of people will say, gut health is going to achieve maximum health. And there's truth to that. The super cleanse are herbs right here. This is going to sweep out your colon and get rid of all the old stuff. A lot of, all the fat we've been eating will end up being like mucoid plaque. It ends up being like a plaque around the intestines. It coats the intestines. Parasites love to live in that plaque. We get parasites from handling money, kissing our dogs, hanging out with our cats, eating pork, eating sushi, handling money. I think I said that. These drinking water in third world countries, drinking water even in our own country, we can get parasites anywhere. So we all probably have them. And so it's important to do a cleanse, at least once a year, but I do it 4 times a year. So the super cleanse are herbs. You only take them for 10 days. They kill parasites. They sweep out the colon. They clean up your bowels. All right. And this gives you amazing energy too. Like sweeping out your colon, it's amazing how much energy you get because you absorb more nutrients. So it's amazing. Now the zinc aid, this is your vitamins and minerals right here. You got the zinc, vitamin C, vitamin A, vitamin D, and vitamin E. All right. So it's all right there. Most people are deficient in zinc and D. A D deficiency can also indicate that you have high heavy metals. Constipation can happen with high heavy metals. The runs can happen with high heavy metals. I mean, like just having a digestive issue in general can be a sign of some type of metals in your body. So the zinc-8 helps with your immune system. It helps people recover from flus, viruses, and so forth. And this came out when COVID started, because the formulator, Dave Sandoval, the founder of our company, is literally a genius. He did a lot of research and was like, this can help people recover from COVID. So this got added to the pack. But it's good for everything. It's great for Epstein-Barr virus and all the different things. The super aminos is also amazing for Epstein-Barr virus because it has L-lysine, and L-lysine kills the Epstein-Barr virus. So the whole point here is that this stuff kills the things that we don't want in our body, the pathogens we don't want. It also feeds the healthy bacteria that we do want. And it alkalizes our system so that we are more, our body is not disease prone. When you're in an alkaline environment, your body, cancer can't grow in an alkaline environment. Viruses can't live in an alkaline environment. Nothing bad for you can live in an alkaline environment. And so the idea of alkalinity is that is your immune system, right? Alkalinity is like the booster of the immune system. So that said, you also get a shaker bottle, like this little blender with it. And so you can add fruit to things, you can blend them up. And this is just like a glass on the go. You can just, your cup on the go, you can just blend up your superfoods and add some fruits if you want. You don't have to. They're really tasty on their own. There's appleberry flavor and some others. So what does this cost? This pack is $13 a day, and this is 2 of your meals a day. The shakes are satiating, they're filling, because they're so nutrient dense, they actually make you feel full. Because what makes people feel full is finally getting all of the nutrients they need. That's what makes a person feel full. So it also helps reduce cravings. So if anybody is struggling with cravings, like, oh God, I gotta have my ice cream, I gotta have my cookies like I did, gotta have my chips like I did, gotta have my sugars, all these things, your body's just craving those things because the pathogens in your body are wanting those things. They're like wanting the acidic food so they can continue to thrive. But as soon as you start killing them off and start alkalizing the body, there's nothing there. Those cravings start to disappear. Your tongue becomes alkaline, and then you start craving alkaline foods. Okay, you start craving more vegetables, you start craving more fruits. Now, anybody who's stuck on the fruit fear, is anybody here afraid of fruit? I have so many people these days. This is like a whole mythology that's become introduced to our culture that we need to avoid fruit. I'm going to tell you that that is a myth. It's wrong, and it's very damaging. It's a very damaging myth to our culture right now, because we absolutely need fruit sugar. That is what the brain lives on. That's what sends the signals through our brain. So if you have brain fog, think fruit, okay? Reduce the fats and increase the fruits. We also have that the fruits are what feed our liver, and our liver is what cleans the blood. So we need the liver to have fuel. It needs fruit to fuel. It needs fruit sugar to fuel all the things in our body. When you eat, if you like fat gets broken into sugar too. People are like, I need fat. Well, fat just gets broken into sugar. That's how the body uses it. It breaks it into sugar. And so we need fruit sugar, not refined sugar, but healthy whole foods, fruit sugar, the kind of carbs that are like in vegetables, potatoes, sweet potatoes, all those things are all healthy sugars. And they are very, very helpful for weight loss. Contrary to popular belief, everyone blames the potato. And unfortunately, they should be blaming the fat that goes on the potato. Fat is what causes fat, not potatoes. Okay. So we're going to handle those myths in a minute, but I want to tell you more. So this is $13 a day. This is 2 of your meals plus all of your supplements, right? So a meal and all of your supplements is $6.50 twice a day. I'm breaking this down because sometimes people are afraid that like, oh, this is going to cost me more. This is a big investment. And I tell people, you're not investing anything. You're actually trading your groceries for this. This becomes your groceries. So instead of buying all these groceries and all these vegetables and all these things, you're having this. This is actually pure nutrition. And this is food. Okay. This is actually food. And so this is going to be 60 of your meals, 60 of your 90 meals in a month. Most people spend, maybe drop me in the comment what you think you spend on food. Most people spend on a meal anywhere from $15 to $30. Or if you are somebody who goes to the deli and gets something at the deli, you're going to spend at least $15 on a meal. Maybe you spend some money on drinks too, right? If you're eating at home and you're eating organic, which is imperative, it is really incredibly important that you're eating organic, that you're not getting all those chemicals feeding the Epstein-Barr virus, the pesticides, the herbicides. If you're at home eating organic, chances are you're spending already $10 on a meal, anywhere from $8 to $10 on a meal. So if you're spending $6.50 on a meal plus all of your supplements, chances are you're going to save yourself anywhere from $6 to $10 a meal, or $6 to $20 a meal, or more, depending on which meal you're covering. So I want you to think of this as a money saver. It was for me. I literally saved at least $300 on my first month's order. And I know Diana, one of her friends, I remember when one of our friends actually she said, oh my God, I saved so much money this month. I had enough money at the end of the month to buy a couch. I saved $400. So don't think of it as an investment. Think of it as a trade. You're buying this instead of groceries, instead of most of your groceries. You are going to eat, though. This is not a fast, okay? You're not fasting. You are eating. So you're going to have fruits and snacks throughout the day. You can have apples throughout the day, celery, red peppers, vegetables. You can have salads. You can have fruit bowls. There's a lot of things you can still enjoy. And then in the evening, or for one of the meals, you'll have a nice clean green meal, steamed vegetables and brown rice, or potatoes with some vegetables and maybe a salad with avocado dressing. You're gonna still be able to eat, and we're gonna recommend some food along the way. So $13 a day, which is $6.50 twice a day, comes out to be for the month. Sorry, this thing is not working all of a sudden. There we go. So the retail value on this is $5.30 down here. Okay, sorry, I'm having trouble controlling my screen. The retail value is $5.30, but you're gonna get the 25% off discount, so it's $3.97. So that's $133 savings. All right, it's 25% off. And then the second month, that price goes down $30 for the second and third months. You just click get started today. And then depending, talk to the person who invited you. They're going to help you customize this, but it says, would you like to customize this? And this is where you get to choose your shakes. It defaults to the super cleanser herbs. That's fine. It's already there. It defaults to the power shake. So you can just do 2 power shake appleberry. And then I recommend putting in a super meal vanilla chai, and then a super meal original. Okay. And then same for month 2 and 3, you're going to change that. If you customize it, it's actually $408. So it's $10 more.
Rach,
yeah.
It's not showing all these choices that you're saying.
It's not showing when my screen is not showing it.
It's just a stagnant screen, and there's no point.
But you can see, can you see month 1 today's order?
No.
Oh, what are you seeing?
It shows the power shake and the ultimate lifestyle transformation, but it didn't show.
Okay, let me try again.
Yeah.
Tell me if, oops, sorry.
It just wasn't moving. So I think you were pointing stuff out, but
how's that? Is that better?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So you can click, would you like to customize this? So I just click that. And then can you see the drop down menu now?
Yeah.
Yeah. You can just pick I would just leave the first 2 shakes, and then the second shakes change to super meal. So you can do 2 super meal shakes, vanilla chai and original. There's only 2 flavors. And that's it. To customize it with the super meal is $10 more. It's definitely worth it. And then month 2 and 3, the price goes down $30. And then you can do the same, choose, and you can stop anytime. You're not committed to this. It's it's going to automatically ship those. But if you, for some reason, decide this isn't for me, you can stop you can stop your orders and you can get a money, but there's a 60-day money back guarantee. I highly recommend try it. Get 60 days in to see if this is working. If if you're not sure, but like only very rarely do people return it because it works. And that's why we have that guarantee, because we know that this works. So that's it. It's going to just automatically, in the 4th month, it goes down to this is called the maintenance pack. So it just goes down to this maintenance pack. So it's half the size. It's only 1 of each thing instead of 2, or 4, 2 shakes instead of 4, and then 1 cherry juice instead of 2, etc. So this price goes down. So it's $228 your 4th month. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and stop my screen. Hopefully that was helpful for everybody. And I'm definitely going to open up to Q&A. Feel free to drop any more questions in there. Yeah, so I mean, you can still eat you can still eat meat if you want to. We have recommendations. I recommend salmon if you're going to eat meat, and I recommend that you're doing only wild caught salmon if you're like really attached to eating meat, but just do very little. Okay, and then if you can wean off for at least 10 days and do it without meat for 10 days, that would be ideal, because then you'll see real results. So
So Maria, have you got any questions?
Tirza says she got over COVID in 2 days using zinc aid. Sorry, Maria, did you have a question? I'm not gonna record the questions. I just wanted people to put them in the chat for now, and then I'm gonna stop, and then we'll go to Q&A. That way people can have privacy. I just didn't want them to. So I'll say thank you for now. And anybody who has questions, we're gonna go into Q&A. And all the replay viewers, thanks for watching, and definitely get in touch with whoever showed this to you, and we're happy to help.